Welcome back to another video of Gardening with John, and we're here in the front garden, and I just wanted to show you guys at first our Brandywine tomatoes. They're not very large plants, but I'm excited because we have some flowers on here, and I think that's directly in correlation to the fish emulsion, specifically the blooming fish emulsion that we put on last time I was out here. And so I'm very excited about that because I have yet to ever get myself a Brandywine tomato, though I've grown them several times. I feel like we may get some this year. We got some peppers here still. They're not very large, but they're growing a little bit, and they'll be large enough to give us a few peppers each off of them. There's another one here. These are a little bit bigger. They're already flowering. You can see that right here. Another Brandywine tomato, no flower. Oh, well, yep, there is a flower, at least two right there. Our purple beans here are ready for us to pick, and I'm actually going to begin plucking those off now. These should have been picked probably a couple days ago, honestly, but I haven't had a chance to be out here. It's just a little harvest, nothing large. But they'll definitely find their way on the dinner table. Over to the right of me, there's another Brandywine tomato. It looks like it's about to start flowering if it hasn't already. And we have the green beans over there. We are kind of up to our elbows in green beans right now. It's also very dry out here, and I'm actually going to break one of the cardinal rules of gardening today. I'm going to water my beans after picking them, which is absolutely something I do not recommend you ever do. It's a very good way to get your beans a disease of some sort, a fungal disease. But with lack of hindsight, I didn't water first, and it needs to happen, so that's how it's going to happen. Alright, so moving on over into the backyard, we have an update on our monster melon. It's not a melon at all, it is actually some sort of pumpkin. This is a squash. We discovered that about a week ago. We were unable to make a video to update you on that discovery. This is not the big one we showed you last time. That one went to my off-camera partner, and his family's enjoying that one. This one I'm going to take home, and we're going to see how we like it. Honestly, I've never even seen one of these before, so it will be new for me. We're going to just cut that right off there. See what we have here. First thing you want to do is flip it over, see if it has a big hole from a worm or something in it, and it does not. And that is great news, because that is often what happens. So I'd say that's about 25, maybe 28 pounds. I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to throw it on a scale. Yeah, I would classify this as a pumpkin. And we'll put this off to the side. I don't know if we'll get any more off this plant. We definitely could, but my partner, I don't think he wants to keep it taking up space too much longer, so this vine may be going soon. But at the very least, each of us did get a pumpkin out of it. Not too much going on in the bed it came out of. It does look like a bit of a jungle in there. see the vine is kind of burnt out, and you can actually see the dirt now. Moving on over to the next bed. We got some stunted peppers here. For instance, this pepper I don't think will be doing too much. But we do have some larger ones that have done a lot better throughout the bed, so I'm not too upset about that one. We got a nice big one right here, for instance. The beans are producing heavily, and we've had between, I don't know, 3-5 harvests so far. In fact, we're starting to get beaned out. Too much of a good thing. It's a good problem to have, though. Better too many beans than too few. Moving over here around the corner, what we had assumed, if you can see in there, I had assumed might have been a collard green or something similar has turned out to actually have been a turnip. And honestly, I don't remember planting turnips back here, but I must have thrown a few seeds back here and just forgot all about it. There's another smaller one in there, but we'll leave it. What I like about turnips is this is a double crop here. You have the root. You can mash these up with some butter, put a little sugar in there, kind of like you would do, say, mashed potatoes. And we often have that for Thanksgiving at my family. The greens as well are a whole nother serving unto themselves. You can cook these up like a collard or a mustard green, and they're very good. So we'll put that over here. Now, as you can see, the carrots are developing. They're not too big yet, nothing ready to pick. We got our peppers. Look like, I wish they were bigger, but they will be serviceable. And some of them are actually starting to flower. Over here, there's just some flower buds starting to show there. You might not be able to see them on the camera. And over here, the tomatoes have really been taken off. And so, as you can see, we have a lot of flowers. The plants are very robust, and there are a ton of tomatoes already on this plant. Right here, we have those bell-shaped tomato varieties here, pear-shaped, I think you'd call it. And there's a whole ton of them in there. They're all hidden in the foliage, but there are a lot. And there's one just starting to turn red in there. Just starting to turn color. And I'm very excited about this here. This particular tomato, in an earlier video, you might have heard me say that it was the only survivor of the seed package, so I was very interested in figuring out what it was. This is a Pimpinifolium species. I got this from the Seed Savers Exchange, and they are closer to a wild tomato. And as you can see, there are some tomatoes on here. They're very tiny, and honestly, I don't know how much bigger those little tomatoes are gonna get. I've heard people call them spoon tomatoes because you can fit many of them on a tablespoon. But none have turned red yet, but I'm expecting that to happen in the next days. We have a nice pepper here. Some of our carrots in here, they've all come up. They're not ready to go yet. And that's the back garden for today. Beyond that, like, we have a ton, I didn't mention them, but we have a ton of green beans. And here we have our beans again. I just wanted to show off. We do have a whole lot of them here. Both families that have been involved in this garden have had plenty of green beans off it, and frankly, we're all getting sick of them, but we're gonna have to find a way to not waste them. Perhaps we'll freeze them. And thanks for coming out to the garden again, and we'll see you next time. That's the end of the pumpkin, formerly identified as a melon. We're going to go ahead and leave the root in the ground. I've killed it, I hope, but I'd like to leave that in there to break down and become some good compost. So now that we've severed the plant from the earth, we're just going to take all the arms of this and chuck it back in the box to break down.